hearing from John Cook today. He is the North American representative for David Trubridge, whose lights are natural and modern and pretty cool looking.
We have a small space in South Austin. It's a little showroom / warehouse that we're just getting up and running. And I've been working with David for about 5 years now, importing his lighting and furniture and selling it in the US and a little bit in Canada and a little bit in Mexico. And it's just grown over time. I've been doing it sort of part-time, and now it's close to full-time. And so I do all the, starting from, logistics of bringing things in from New Zealand, inventorying here, and then selling to different showrooms, as well as architects and designers and the general public, and then doing trade shows and other promotional stuff around marketing and PR. He has a good range, very good range, and a decent sort of, reputation, if you would, in terms of brand recognition, less so in the States, but more so in Europe and Australia and New Zealand. Essentially, I've came to the States to go to business school in Texas, and then just sort of stuck around, and the 2-year plan is now sort of year 20 something. But at some point I just decided I'd like to work for myself and do something that involved New Zealand. So I thought it would be like technology or something different, but then I just happened upon design and products, interior design products, because we had some stuff in our house. When you understand more about the design itself, and so much as that sort of comes from nature, and it's New Zealand, of course, so I'm prone to like that, and it's sustainable and some level of environmental consciousness. I think David's clever. I think the designs they're sort of simple, but then they have complexity because they're clever in terms of thinking about packaging and freight and assembly and even production itself. It's pretty simplistic, but often the simplest things take the most effort to get to. So every year he exhibits it in Milan, which is sort of his sort of test area, or whatever you want to call it, where he'll bring something new. And sometimes it's a new color or new material from an existing design, and then it's a bit more commercially or quite commercially applicable. And then others might be a bit more sort of artistic and sort of installation type sort of deal, where the product can still be a commercial product, can be made for sure, but it's probably closer to the more artistic side of things. So every year he exhibits in Milan, and he does that. I think at least every year got new products coming out. Again, whether they're just sort of extensions of existing products with respect to size or color or whatever, or a new design, a new shape. Yeah, definitely looking at outdoor light. We don't have any. People often ask, can it be put outside? And it can, but it's natural. It's a natural wood which we don't treat, so it will weather, and unfortunately in some climates it can grow fungus and stuff like that, so it's not really 100% suitable, although you can put it out there. There's no, it's just going to change. Typically the lights are pendants, so they've got to hang from something, so they'll probably hang from a patio roof, or at least an overhang of some kind, so they're protected from the elements to some extent. But we're looking at outdoor using aluminum and some kind of coloration, be it anodizing or powder coating. So I'm actually working on that myself here, because it just makes sense to do that here in the States rather than do that in New Zealand for a few different reasons. And the hope with it is that we'll have something commercially ready to go in April-May time frame, 2012. And there'll be the existing designs. Coral is the one that we're starting with, which is the globe that somewhat has more angular shaped pieces. But once we crack it with coral, that we can extend it to all the other designs, because they're pretty much the same construction method, if you would. And then other new products. I know that David's got a few new lights on the drawing board, but I don't know exactly when he's planning on releasing those. There's one that's Tipu, Tipu, and it's interesting in that David's current range is really quite, how would I describe it? Basically, one or two shapes that are repeated. The Tipu is a different sort of more organic, random type of pattern.